Showtime. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
Here's where we are with this show right now. I tried for 4.5 years, Bob and Jeff. It's now Bob. I control everything, pal.
Jeff Lutz.
Like the harsh realities of life are slapping you in the face right now, and I don't think you can handle it.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Are we still on?
Stand by for action.
All right, welcome back to the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. Jason Duda in with us. He'll be back tomorrow. We look forward to it as part of our three-man booth. 869-1240, the phone number, the IHOP hotline, Max Power producing and engineering the show. If you didn't hear the interview we had in the first hour with musical artist Dax, his new song with Darius Rucker is out and climbing the charts very quickly. It's called To Be a Man. Dax, a former basketball player at Newman University here, and was good enough to jump on our show today, and we hope to get him back sometime. That's got to make you proud as a Canadian.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I was listening to it outside. I didn't want to come in during the interview, but yeah, it sounds like I was really impressed with him talking about the drinking aspect and just very blunt with, this is where I was, this is how it is. I'm impressed.
I don't know that I could break down my drinking. This segment
I could break
Jeff
it down.
will not enjoy at all. I don't know that I would be able to break down my drinking history the way he did. I don't know. I've thought about doing that many, many times.
Breaking it down?
I want to write about it. Yes. I feel like sometime I'm gonna write about it because I did drink too much. I never kept it in the house. I could go days without drinking, but in my mind, if you were going to go and have a couple, you weren't going to stop at a couple because you don't go for the taste. At least I didn't. I didn't say, "Oh man, I got to have that great flavor of beer." No. What I needed was the rush of a personality change, because in my regular personality, I'm fairly subdued, and in my drinking personality, I'm not.
What's wrong with being subdued? And
sometimes you just like to let it go. Sometimes you like to be that more outgoing. Now I'm more outgoing now. Naturally than I was, but there's times when in my world I like to be Bob Unleashed.
I got you. I get it.
I wonder if it's different. See, when I was growing up, you could get in the bars at 18. So it was different because 18, 19, 20, I mean, that's what you're going to have a good time. And then when I got later on in my 20s, I just enjoyed going for a couple.
Well, that's
now.
good.
Now, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. A couple turned into way too many on quite a few occasions, but I don't mind having one or two and being done.
Well, I can do that now very easily. I couldn't then. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
We've got Brent Schneider, the head football coach at Sterling High School. They are 6-3. They have a date coming up Friday night at Conway Springs in the Class 1A playoffs. Coach Schneider, welcome to the show. You're on with Bob, Jeff, and Jason. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
We're doing well. So here you are. You get to play more football. You're gonna go to Conway Springs and play a team that you played less than a month ago. They beat you 39-13. That game was also at Conway Springs. But we know football and all sports are fickle and up for grabs. What can be different about this matchup?
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. They're a great football team and a great football program, and we actually started playing them last year in districts, and we hadn't played them since I had been at Sterling. And so one of the things we talked about with Conway and the unique offense that they run is the best way to prepare for it is actually to get game reps with it because your scout teams aren't going to give you the greatest look. So we were kind of preaching that when we met them the first time, not knowing exactly we're going to see them again. But then our message now is we've been there before. We kind of know the feel of their pregame, and we've got the chance to play their offense. So it's kind of the same message. The best way to prepare for that is to play them. And we kind of went through and watched how our defense played against their offense and vice versa. So didn't look into as much of the previous couple games scout. We looked at more into the way our game was last time we met.
So this is a little bit uncharted territory for Sterling. 4 wins last year, and then you had a couple years before that where you were kind of building something. Is that what you felt like over the last few years, that it was building, maybe that this year or even next year or whenever that it would really start to pay off for you?
Yeah, this is my 5th year, and I grew up in Sterling, so I did all my schooling here and then went to college here and ended up having the opportunity to come back home and coach. And we had a couple tough seasons, and then COVID kind of hit in there. And the message we just kept preaching is we're trying to build this culture and establish this culture and get through some adversity. And I was really proud with how those seasons, even though our wins weren't piling up, we always ended the year with a win in those cross-district games. And we took a lot of pride in that. That even though our wins weren't there, we're still doing the things we thought we needed to do to build culture and to build what we were wanting to do offensively and defensively, and knowing that over time it was going to click. And we were, over those years of lower wins, we were down in the mid to low 20s, and we got a really good class that's now our senior class come up, and now we have some classes under them with good numbers, so we're up to 43 this year. So that was quite different, but that senior class got through a lot of adversity, and they make up a big chunk of our team. And then we have a junior class that we kind of call the glue class, and then our sophomore class is made up of a lot of our skill guys. So we have a couple special classes, and we have some groups in between them and behind them. And so we're really, really excited. We just continue to try to preach culture. And last year or 2 years ago when we struggled win-wise, it was probably one of the most refreshing years that I'd gone through. The kids were great, and even though our wins weren't there, we just kept working on the culture.
Well, you talked about some of your seniors. Why don't you tell us about some of your players who stepped up for you this year, and like I said, who are some of the seniors that hopefully this isn't their last game?
Yeah, so our offensive line most of the year was made up of mostly seniors. We had 4 seniors on it, and they're a very strong unit. Gabe Riffle, he was a all-state defensive lineman last year, and he was a first-team all-league and all-district offensive and defensive lineman last year. He's the real deal. He's a great kid. He works really hard, and he's our right tackle, and he's one of our defensive ends. So he does a great job for us. And then Carson Gray, again, he's a senior. They're our right heavy side, and we run a lot of dive to that side. And Carson had a great year for us last year. He had an AC sprain right in the heart of our playoffs, so he got hurt during the Inman game and missed the Medicine Lodge game and was just trying to get back in the Conway game. So he's had a big year for us. And then Colby Beagley, he's a senior. He's our center, makes all of our line calls. He's had a great year. I was filling out some ballots for all district, and I was just putting in there that a lot of years of Sterling Colby would probably be our best lineman. And we just right now have a pretty solid line. And then our left tackle is Adam Schweitzer. So he unfortunately tore his MCL and partially tore his ACL a couple weeks ago in our Ellenwood game. So he wasn't able to partake in our playoff win last week, but he was definitely very much part of getting us to this point. And then we have Isaac Breyer kind of plays tight end for us, and he's kind of our utility Swiss Army knife when we come to our blocking schemes on the perimeter. And he's done a great job for us because we don't throw the ball a lot, but he's a receiver and he blocks for us. And Jaden Diazio, he's a running back wing for us. And Dominic Mancata, he comes in as a as a tight end for us and does some stuff on defense. And then Zeke Johnson, he's an outside linebacker for us, and he's our best pass rusher. And he does some great stuff for us. He's fresh usually on defense, but he does some great stuff.
Talking now with Sterling football coach Brent Schneider. Sterling at on the road Friday night at Conway Springs. in the Class 1A football playoffs. You mentioned growing up in Sterling, playing high school there, attending Sterling College, playing football there, and then returning to Sterling to be the coach of the football team. Just talk about that upbringing in Sterling. I mentioned at the start of the show today when we were telling people who our guests were that I value Sterling as one of the gem small towns in Kansas. What made you come back? What was the drawing power that Sterling had?
Yeah, ever since I left, I always was really hoping to make it back to Sterling. It's just like you said, it really is a gem, and some of the people that I really look up to as a mentor in the coaching world, they kind of have been through Sterling and played here, and they kind of say that Sterling's in a little bit of a bubble, and I think there's a little bit of truth to that. And one of my older brothers, Derek, he actually is the head basketball coach here, and he was an assistant coach for me my first couple of years, and then started having some kids, so he stepped out of that role. But we have a lot of family here. Both of my parents live in town. My wife's parents live in town, and so it's just declined to come back home and just raise our family and really be at peace with a lot of parts of our life. So we love the community here. We love to give back to the kids. I know I really needed growing up a lot of the community members and teachers and coaches that I had. I formed great relationships, and it's fun to be back in the building with some of the people that coached me and taught me. So it's just kind of being able to give back to the community that gave so much to me.
So you talked about your numbers, and 43 is really impressive for a 1A school. I'm just curious what you kind of credit that to. Is that just because like you said, the culture and it's growing and starting to see some wins here, or is it just this group of kids maybe, or is it bigger than that?
I do think we have some really good classes with a lot of kids, a lot of boys, and I think that's helped a lot. The last few years when our numbers are low, we did have a couple classes sandwiched in there that had very few boys in them. And so that was kind of why our numbers were in the lower 20s. But even before that, our numbers weren't near as high as they are now. I think one thing is our staff has really done a nice job of is just really make people want to come out for football. And I've tried to take, like I was talking about my mentor, I tried to base some of my coaching style after Andy Lambert coached me at Sterling College. Coach Terry Harrison there at Friends. He's a Sterling College guy, and his staff has done a great job allowing myself and my coaches to go and watch their practices and sit on meetings. And so a lot of the way we practice and our culture is based off a lot of the things that those gentlemen do as great coaches. And so being in the building, all of us coaches, for the most part, are either in the building or they coach multiple sports. So I really do think that it's just a place that the kids want to be and they want to be part of. And we started seeing some success last year, and the kids started taking pride and having confidence. And we're finally seeing that confidence where the kids they feel like they can have some confidence and they're seeing results. So really excited. We have really good junior high classes right now with a lot of boys. We think our numbers could be maybe even a little bit higher next year, maybe in the mid to high 40s. And then I'm assuming that's about where they'll peak out. But we just think here for the next few years we'll have high 30s, low 40s. So it's really exciting. It's an exciting time to be part of this Viper football program.
Brent Schneider, our guest, head football coach at Sterling. Last question. So you played Conway Springs less than a month ago, as I said. You got beat 39-13. Is there a challenge in trying to get your kids to believe that outcome can be different? Because we as adults know it can. We know how sports work. Is that a challenge to convince kids that it can?
To be completely honest, I think in years past, that would be one of my biggest kind of things I would be thinking about as a coach. But I think right now our kids are pretty locked in. I know there were some people that kind of had Ellis picked above us in that first round, and we went there, and our kids were dialed in. And I don't think there was ever a doubt in their mind that we were going to perform the way we performed. And I think that there's finally just a little bit of a confidence in our group of kids. And we were talking a little bit about it, and I was just saying it's not necessarily an arrogance that you just have some confidence in what you're capable of. And I think they truly do believe. We've just been kind of watching our last game and showing them how close we were to doing some really good things and how close we were to making some big stops. And basically they know that it really is just going to come down to we're a physical team, they're a physical team. And they have that deep culture where it's just they always expect to win. And I think our confidence is there. It's just about you have to want it every play, and you just have to stack however many plays you need to, 150 plays or 130 plays, whatever it's going to take. And I think they're ready.
Good answer. I think you're ready, too, for whatever that's worth. Thank you, Brent, for coming on the show today. Best of luck Friday night against Conway Springs in the 1A playoffs. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
All right, Brent Schneider. Sterling getting the
Black
rematch
Bears
against Conway Springs. We'll take a break, come back, and talk about whatever we want to talk about. We might let you pick the topic, Duda.
Why?
You're about to fall asleep over there.
No, I'm good. I just had a coffee. I'm ready to go. I got about 34 minutes left in me.
Back in a minute.
KFH.
Linda Ronstadt's version of Blue Bayou.
Blue by you.
The only version there is
Is
far
there?
as I'm concerned.
There's
Well, it was
other.
written by Roy Orbison.
I get it, but she did the signature defining version of that song. There's no question. You don't need to stand.
Well, I
there.
mean, she did the signature defining version of the song that was written by Roy Orbison.
That's all great.
That's what we're talking about today. So I don't know where your defensive nature is
Linda
coming
didn't write songs, but she brought others' work to life and greater prominence.
I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
What don't you get?
don't know- I
You
don't know
people
what-
are being weird today with this. I don't understand.
I don't know why everything has to be an argument.
Nothing's an argument. All I said was that, as far as I'm concerned, Linda's version is the only version. How is that an argument?
How many other versions are there?
I don't know.
My point is that this is a cover of a Roy Orbison,
That's all
song.
good.
and I don't know how the animosity started.
No animosity. We're literally listening to her sing it. It's not like we're hearing Roy.
You're
and
on
I'm
edge today for some reason.
It's not like
and-
we're hearing Roy singing. I'm saying, well, Linda
and
did
this
it better.
is kind of how you were yesterday with Jason, especially in that
Jason
first segment.
Jason needed the kick in the pants yesterday.
I don't understand why you think I needed a kick in the pants when we had people calling asking if we were actually going to fight during the first segment, and you're telling me that I needed to pick it up.
That was during the second segment.
Obviously, it was just fine.
Our show yesterday was fantastic.
Oh, one of the best.
Once I got you to the level I needed you.
Of course, you had to. Yes, it was all because of you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course it was. The guy who's never been wrong in his life.
I was wrong once.
Well, he thought he was wrong.
Who is more sure
I
they're
thought
right?
I made a mistake once, and
Who's more
turned out
sure
I hadn't.
they're right, him or me?
Oh, that's wow. Where do you go with this?
Let me ask you another question.
Let's see.
Who's right more often, him or
Oh,
me?
please, don't even.
Who do you find yourself agreeing with more often?
Well, I think you and I think more alike than Jeff and I. So I probably agree with you more, but I wouldn't say it's like extraordinarily more. Just maybe 65-35.
That's quite
Oh,
a
that's
bit.
quite a bit. That's
60-40 kind of right in there.
Probably more 65-35.
Well, it's right in there.
But I don't really think like a lot of people.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
So-
like, I don't think like you. I think more like Bob on a lot of
Who
subjects.
truly understands you?
My wife.
She truly does.
Yes.
Or does she just stay out of the way?
No, she understands me. She gets it. She gets me.
What does she say that prompts you to think that?
I just know how the way she reacts to me and the ways that the things that she says. I
Like
don't know.
when you say something and she leaves the room, kind of thing. You understand?
No,
That's how she
that's
understands?
that's not our relationship at all.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking.
We have a give and take. There's no leaving the
What's
room.
a typical banter?
I don't know. That's
'Cause
tough.
it doesn't seem to me like you share many interests.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
So what do you talk about?
We talk about our days. We talk about what's
You do talk.
interest-
You talk about
She
your
does.
day.
She
don't,
does.
Don't say we talk about
I
our days.
sometimes do.
Be honest.
I talk about the big picture stuff. That's what I.
There is no big
Yes,
picture
there is.
stuff. There's only small picture stuff that accumulates to being the big picture. There is no big picture stuff. It's all snippets
What are you
that
trying to
add
say?
up
So now you're not making any sense.
to be a bigger picture.
No, because see now I agree with Bob on this. It's a bunch of little things that
So
get
there's
to
no
a big one.
There's literally no big picture.
Not
stuff.
really. Not really. It all evolves
So
into a.
So would you have considered your heart procedure a big picture?
No, it's been evolving. It's an accumulation of smaller pictures, and let's not go overboard in calling it. Let's not draw a ton of serious attention to what's going on in my world.
You put it on Facebook.
I didn't say anything. I didn't really tell anybody.
Yes, you did.
I said
I
I
had people ask, "Is Bob okay?"
So have I.
Well,
So when you put that on our plates, we're going to put some stuff on your plate.
well, you know what I'll do to your plates? I'll smash them into the wall.
I figured.
I don't know how my plate got involved.
Well, if you're
This is
spinning
you
more
two.
than one plate, I'm going to make sure you're not.
Well, whose plate am I spinning? Now you're. Don't clump me in certain situations, Robert, with the youngster here. All right.
You don't
Well,
like
this
being
is,
aligned
this can't
with
be
him.
a 35.
This is a 35. Now back to the 35 side.
Well,
See how it goes?
It can happen.
Today it's 50-50, so now we're moving it closer.
Right.
There it is.
Here's
And
what
we're not done yet today.
Here's what I've accumulated in 68 years of living. Some sense of wisdom. Some sense of being there and doing that. And situations. We talked about it with alcohol, and that was spurred by our interview with Dax, who's written a song about his trials and tribulations with alcohol. Many people have trials and tribulations with alcohol because, why? Because basically, we like to change our personality from time to time.
Well, from time to time, but some people go a little overboard and extreme.
Exactly.
My dad was that way. He was an alcoholic until I was 16.
I think I had tendencies that way as well. Now, when that guy came along in 1982, and especially after his mother and I divorced, and I had custody of him when his mother moved to Ohio, I made sure not to cross that line. So I was able to turn it off. But on nights when he'd go, and I had some social activity, I rarely did anything in the social realm without some drinks.
Oh, I was the same way. I probably am kind of still the same way, but now I can go have one or two and be done.
I can too.
And it doesn't bother me,
Then
and I
couldn't.
actually enjoy it. But because I think I'm older now, the problem is that I know if I have too many, how I'm going to feel for not just the next day, but like for 3 days. And it's just not worth it anymore.
Here's what I was chasing. That an hour or two of exuberation, of feeling like, okay, I love this. I'm outgoing, I'm funny, I'm engaging, people like me. And then that next drink, I'm not funny, I'm way more outgoing than I should be. I'm not funny. People are starting not to like me.
You're irritating.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I met and married my wife, Debbie, I didn't want to put her through that. So
That's good.
That's why. That's one of the big reasons why I no longer drink even close to the way I used to. And that's my drinking story.
Well, see,
in sort of a nutshell.
in mine growing up, I never drank at home. I only drank when I went out with friends or went out to go to the bar or whatever it was, but I never drank at home.
No, I never drank at home.
Never. If I was at home for the night, I didn't go and crack a couple beers. Never did that.
Never had a beer in my refrigerator that I know. I'm sure I have for a party or something, but I've never gone to the refrigerator.
I usually grab a couple on my way out if they're in there.
Well, there you go. There you
That's
go.
smart.
Make light of it.
I'm not making light of it.
No,
I
listen.
really do.
Well, you must bring them here then. Because,
yeah, well, I do. I bring a six-pack in. That way I can take two every time I leave.
well, I've never seen that in my refrigerator.
Well, you don't know where they're
you
hidden.
must hide them very well.
Debbie showed me where to put them that you'd never find.
I keep waiting for you to bring a Crumbles cookie over.
Well, why would I do that?
Oh, just to be a nice guy.
Oh, maybe tomorrow.
You live out by them.
Maybe tomorrow.
I mean, it'd be nice.
You want a cookie tomorrow? I'll bring you a
I'd
cookie.
like a cookie.
All right, I'll bring you one tomorrow.
I'm gonna.
Nice. That's sweet.
Jeff, do you
I've
want a
asked-
cookie?
I'm okay.
I'd ask you guys to help me out with some furniture moving.
Yeah,
after
maybe
the
you should
show
be getting
today.
us cookies.
Yeah,
Well, I'm going to give you certificates to Jimmy John.
This is turning backwards.
Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
Pass.
You don't like Jimmy John?
I don't like Jimmy John.
What?
I don't like the guy.
No, there must be something in
What's
his.
the story here?
Yeah, we don't need to know.
I'm
He's
curious.
probably a sponsor. Just shut your
Kills
pie hole.
animals.
What?
Just
Yeah, goes on those big game hunts and has people put those big animals in front of him so he can shoot them. Don't like that.
I never heard that before.
well,
Where, was it on the internet?
Yeah, you should go look at his naked picture with a whale.
Okay, this is no.
yeah,
I have
don't
no.
know.
I have
why,
no
why do
desire
you
to go watch
to these
that.
places?
I'm just telling you.
No, we don't need to know.
How did you? What prompted you
I
to
guess
just?
Duda needs to know.
I do. What? But I'm just curious. What prompted you to go look for this guy?
I didn't
someday?
look for it. There was a few years ago where this picture came out and everybody saw it, and people were trying to figure out who it was, and people thought it was the Florida coach, like Dan Mueller or whoever it was at the time, and it ended up being Jimmy John. And then it started coming out that he participates in these activities that I find unsavory. Other
well,
people
I find
might
them
love it.
unsavory too, but I don't know that I need to. I
I'll
gave
still,
you I gave you some certificates earlier. You grabbed them out of my hand. About took a finger off.
That was Jersey Mike's.
Oh, that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, love Jersey
oh,
Mike's.
Well, that's perfect.
I get those two confused.
You gave me 4 New Way certificates that expired yesterday. I'm not. No, they hadn't expired when you gave them to me. I tried to redeem all of them, and they told me I couldn't. But what does this say? Good for 1 free original New Way. It doesn't say 1 per visit. It doesn't say anything. It says, and I tried to use all of them, and they wouldn't let me.
Why is that?
I don't know, because people just got upset for no reason.
Inside the store?
Yeah, the people working like, oh, you can't do that.
Why?
I don't know. I'm like, where does it say any of this on the car? Well, it doesn't say that, but that's
Well, then if it doesn't say it, pony up with a sandwich.
that's what I would say.
I mean, I don't get that. I'll make a call.
Jersey
there
Mike
you go.
says it, 1 per customer.
yes.
You know
it
what I'm
says right
saying?
on the bottom.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But I love New Way. I would have had New Ways for 3 days with my certificate.
Well, I apologize.
It's not your fault.
Did the best I could.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Shocking.
I don't know anyone who would disagree with
See, he's starting to disagree.
I am.
869-1240. A few moments left. Jason Duda with us, 3-man booth. We'll do this again tomorrow here at the West Wichita Basement Studio, where a renovated office area is in full swing.
Okay, so I see that you've done some work here. You're having some more done tomorrow. So for the show, like, do you have spots for Jeff and I now? Like, is you making this like a real office, or is it a studio? So when Jeff and I come over, we got like primo seats and that sort of thing.
You
Or
got
is
a problem with your seat?
Is this basically you doing what you want, and Jeff and I will figure it out when we get over?
Yeah,
here?
we'll figure you guys out when you arrive.
Okay, so
That
it
makes
has
sense.
nothing to do with you and I coming over here to do the show.
Do you not have a better setup now than you've ever had? You're in the most comfortable chair in the house.
Yeah, my back's sore 'cause the cord's not long enough. But other than that,
Well, we're getting a longer cord for you.
well, once that happens,
you could move the chair up a little bit, but
But
who
then
would,
I'd have to get up out of the chair, which is a
I
problem.
tried to move it pretty close, so
we wouldn't dare ask you to do that.
No, heaven forbid.
So I mean, seems like you got a pretty good setup.
It's not bad. I was just wondering how it was going to look after they were done, and you had it all set up in here. That's all.
Well, we've just gotten a lot of clutter out of here.
Like I was thinking, maybe we should have a couple recliners in here. Don't you
Oh,
think?
that'd be beautiful.
Like just be able to.
I don't know if that's conducive to doing a radio show,
for
but
sure it is. You're relaxed. You just say what you want. You can argue from
we
laying
do that
down.
anyway.
It's great.
I don't think any recliners are going to be happening.
No?
No.
Well, that's too bad.
You're kind of
Sorry.
looking a gift horse in the mouth with the chair you got. I'd happily trade,
Yeah, well,
or just come over
I'm
and,
the
and
guest.
join you.
That would be odd and awkward.
There's
and not
plenty of
comfortable.
room.
So that chair's not comfortable to you.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, you're hunched over. You're
The cord doesn't stretch.
all right. Well, I'm getting a different cord.
Well, have it here by tomorrow.
But I'll repeat, he could have moved the chair up, and
I
it would have
could've.
been a problem.
I could have, but like I said,
Then he'd kind of be it'd be weird.
yeah, I'd be in the way and right in the middle of you two. I don't want to be like right in the firing zone of you two.
I love
on
my
a lot of
setup.
days. Oh, your
I've
setup's
got it.
fantastic.
I've got a great setup, and frankly, that's all I care about.
We know.
Yeah, we're well aware.
Is your setup not fine?
It's fine. I mean, it's fine.
What do you want?
It could be better.
You know, it's fine.
I don't know. I think everything's in pretty good working order here.
I agree.
And there's a chance we're going to move this show to the Leslie Rudd Learning Center at some point. And I had a discussion, a brief one, with Tony Dusing about that. That could happen here in the next few weeks. We'll see. And then we'll have two places. We'll have three places we can do the show. I would probably purchase the equipment necessary to do the show at the Leslie Rudd Learning Center.
I feel like that would be expensive, but I don't know. I don't know how much that board would cost.
I don't know.
I have some estimates. I have some, Tony and I talked about it. You guys would be expected to kick in a third. And to which Jeff just...
You can expect
to which
anything
Jeff,
you want.
To which Jeff, of course, is going to not agree to do that.
Well, why would we kick in a third if you're moving it to where you want to go? Like, if we're kicking in a third, we should have a say in where we want to go.
Where do you want to go?
Probably a place with food and drinks, maybe, or something like that.
Walk-ons?
Well, they have food and drinks, so that would be.
They almost knew who we were once.
That was embarrassing for the show. For the two of you to go into a place, having been invited, right?
Yes.
By the owner.
And for no one to know what you're doing there.
That's right.
That's a setback for the show. And I hope that's been resolved in some ways.
Oh, it wasn't.
It wasn't really. No.
Not even in the months since.
No.
Any more communication with the ownership?
Never heard back. Never
Nothing.
heard.
So walk-ons is basically...
Jeff, you even reached out and it was done politely, I might add, and no response, right?
As far as I know, yeah.
The walk-ons has scrubbed their hands of us.
I guess so. I guess.
Well, that's all you're doing.
Oh, for sure. It's probably my fault. I don't know how, but I'll
I haven't
take
been
it.
back.
Those are the relationships that we gotta build, man.
I mean, we gave them free publicity.
You did?
Yes. They were opening like the next day or
Well,
very
they gave
shortly.
you some free hors d'oeuvres, did they not?
Eventually, yes.
I can just imagine the two of you begging. Well, we do a show, we really do,
We
and
didn't beg.
we were told
No.
we'd get some cream.
Well, we thought we were going to meet the guy.
Exactly.
That's why we went. Plus, we thought we'd have lunch, and so we thought, oh, why, that'd be a decent little Saturday. Why not? That's what it was.
Oh, that's too bad.
just-
Food was good. Everything
was good.
fine, but
Yeah, everything was good.
we were stood up.
Too bad that didn't work out better.
It happens.
We know what would have made it work out better.
If I was
There we go. Just say
Well,
it.
I mean,
Just say it. Make yourself feel better at the end of the show.
can't
Just
we
go
say
ahead.
the obvious anymore?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody knows. We don't even have to say it.
Exactly.
Everybody listening knows. So you're fine. You're good.
the message gets.
Oh, it's put out there numerous times a show.
Well, and then I'm still on my game.
I guess you still got it. It's still there.
You know, when you get a little under the weather, and you always wonder, am I still going to have my game? And I think what today has proven to me, I've
got a lot of work to do.
I've cast my way through some doubts, but I think I still got the game.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I'm glad you got up and.
If you don't believe in yourself, who will?
You know, if I start to hear otherwise from people who matter, not you yahoos.
Okay, that's fair. I'm glad you cleared that up.
Max, can you send Bob a text?
If Max, Max would never tell me that I'm not on my game unless I was not on my game.
Who would you expect? Who would you take that advice to heart if they gave it to you?
I'd take it to heart from Max. I'd take it to heart from Tony Dusing.
But do you believe that you are approachable in that sense?
Absolutely.
Really?
If somebody wants to come to me and step in front of my face and tell me, Bob, you've lost a little off your fastball, it might be time for you to start thinking about that pasture land that you've been looking at, then I'd listen to that.
Of course you would.
My next question would be, does that mean I never have to be around Duda and Jeff anymore? If the answer was yes,
you don't want to be around your two
grazing.
Sons? You don't want to be around your two sons anymore?
Thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back with another three-man booth tomorrow. More of this.
Yeah, more of this.
Exactly what you want. Have a good evening.